Welcome. It's them boys watch footy. Hope everybody had a really good weekend. I know that we did over here.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
We
Glad
got
to
our
be
boy
back. Good to
Waj
see you,
here.
buddy.
He's back. Yeah. Also want to bring up that it is a bank holiday, so we will not be filming an episode next week. I know everybody's a little bit sad about that, but everybody needs a little break too.
Yeah, get out to the sun. It's gonna be the last of that summer sun before it's misery.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so wanted to thank everyone again for giving us a listen to any platform that you're listening to us on. We're on YouTube, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify. So thank you all again for giving us a listen. Wash, how was your footballing weekend?
Oh man, it was funny because I was supposed to be with you down, at our local for the Arsenal match, but had some obligations that I could not miss out on. So I made my way across the river over to Jersey. But we had the game out there with some fam and some good eats, some good company, and a great match. So it was great. Kind of watch the whole thing between like the train. Shout out to New Jersey Transit, making sure we had that Wi-Fi. Okay, all the way out to location, the secret location to watch the match. So it was dope. How was yours?
Oh, it was really good. I watched it at the local. It was a very great day. It was a little contentious for a little bit. Then Trossard saved us. Very happy about
Yeah.
that little man. Then Thomas
Yo,
Partey was able to put it away.
I said right away, I was like, I'm sure Anne Hathaway is jumping around right now wherever she is.
Exactly. She has to be just like, oh my God, Trossard. Okay. But it was a really good weekend of football. I mean, we had a bunch of different things happening, both internationally and domestically. And that's what we want to bring you today. So, what we're first going to jump into is the Premier League wrap up. So, a lot of very interesting things happened this past weekend. We had the big shocker Brighton over Manchester United 2-1. Tottenham defeated Everton 4-0. West Ham was able to take 3 points off of Crystal Palace 2-0. Nottingham Forest beat Southampton 1-0. Fulham beat Leicester City 2-1. Manchester City defeated Ipswich Town 4-1. That was a crazy one. Arsenal defeated Aston Villa 2-0. Bournemouth and Newcastle went to a 1-1 draw. Chelsea went a little off yesterday 6-2. And Liverpool rounded it out with a 2-0 win over Brentford. So, where do you want to start first? Let's start with the Arsenal match.
All right. Let's start there. I mean, it's funny, because we got Partey back, and I think a lot of people have even been doubting him, thinking they're gonna let him go. And of course, he goes to score a beautiful belter from outside the box. And every single time I see Partey get the ball from that position, I get automatically like it's not gonna go, and he's gonna sky it or something. He only scores them every once in a while. So it was a beautiful beautiful goal. I think Martinelli had another bad day at the office, and maybe it's a telling sign that Leandro Trossard needs to take that position. And I think Leo's reaction after the goal was painstakingly clear of that. Very telling, painstakingly clear. So yeah, I think overall there's some decisions to be made in the squad, and of course we got to see Calafiori come on, which was great.
That was
now
great to
got
see.
our new signing on the way, Mikel Mourinho. So I think it's great to see our backline is clearly strong. Saliba just had a day.
Rolls Royce defender.
Bad man. Yo, this guy, once again,
love him.
Back again. Like he just back like could crack that guy. He's just like he doesn't know how to stop. He's so good.
He's so good at being a defender. It's crazy.
It was just wonderful just to see what he does and just like breaking people's hearts. I love to watch it. Saving hours at the same time. So
very true.
I appreciate him. I appreciate really Big Willie style as they put it us on the socials. So fantastic game I think for us. I think with the next match coming up, and who are we playing next? I think we have Brighton next. So I think there's some changes that need to happen, maybe just on the left flank. Other than that, great match. What did you think?
So that next match is a 7:30 a.m. kickoff. So we'll see how that goes on this Saturday.
Well, for you, it's going to be 7:30 a.m. Not for me. I'm
That's
out.
very true. That's very true.
I'll be on time.
No, I really love watching that match. They gave us fits last season. They did the double over us in the Prim, and the fact that we were able to get this early match settled and dusted. I mean, a lot of people don't understand when you start off. You have to start off pretty strong within the Premier League. You have to establish your dominance early, and sometimes we've not always had the greatest starts. I'll never forget watching that match against Brentford, and we lost 4-0
Oh
way
yeah,
back in the day. And that
yeah.
it was just very telling, like how our season was going to go, and that's what I'm seeing right now. Our season's looking pretty strong. We have reinforcements. I think we do need to do a little bit more business. I want to get your thoughts on another winger outside of Martinelli and Trossard, just being able to purchase another one just because I love Trossard, but I do not believe he is a 70-minute man in the system. I believe he's a
Mhm.
great super sub. I think Martinelli does what he needs to do, which is drive the defense crazy and be able to tire them out. And Trossard is able to just come in and pick up the pieces and keep us
Yeah,
keep us moving, keeping the engine going. I was really happy to see Timber start, even though it was a little shaky, him getting used to that left back position. I think him being back there outside of Zinchenko really solidified what we needed to do. Um, Saliba and Gabriel were able to still keep that strong partnership, but knowing that our left side is tactically sound just made it all the better. It just made
I
me
don't it.
feel good. Yeah, just made me feel really good, especially knowing Emery would have picked apart Zinchenko
Oh
based
yeah,
off of what was going on earlier, like last game against Wolves. He was getting picked apart in that match. So just
yeah,
being able to
yeah.
see this, knowing that our left back is pretty much sound with Calafiori and Timber, I'm really happy about what I'm seeing. Partey, I mean, he's a very contentious man within the Arsenal fandom. But I said it at the bar. One out of every 16 shots, he's going to make that from outside the box, and
Thanks.
that was the one. I mean, Martinez, he did have a little mess up, but uh, what we saw on the other side, David Raya, double save, epic. One of the greatest things you'll ever see. Palmed it out the way so Watkins couldn't score even on the rebound. That was just
It was
amazing heads
crazy.
up play. Amazing heads up play. I mean, Watkins is still getting back up to speed after a really great Euro. He didn't have a preseason, so him missing those two sitters was pretty crazy, but we still have to give Raya some credit. So whoever that kid Rogers is for Villa,
Yeah.
who is that
I
kid?
was
Get
like,
him
who
now.
is this? I don't like this right now. You
Yeah,
should have us.
yeah. He was looking big, and I've heard that he's a youngster. So I mean, they have an excellent diamond in the rough that they're going to be able to polish on. So really happy about that one. Any other thoughts on that match?
No, I mean, I think you touched on most of the parts. I think to your point though, that we need to, Saka it comes back to the same thing. Saka needs a backup, and is Reece Nelson going to be that backup? Is he not? Is he leaving?
Yep.
There's a
Is
big
he's leaving or
question
staying?
there.
Yep.
And it's kind of funny. Kai was silent yesterday. Sorry, I'm sorry, on Saturday. But I mean, he still did great up front play. I think with having Jesus out, this just brings back the same scary thoughts of if we lose Kai and Jesus in even over a two game period, we're gonna have some problems.
Yeah.
So I still think we need to plug up our situation there. Yesterday was a perfect example of that because Nketiah didn't even get to play anything, and of course we're trying to sell him right now. But I think Kai also had a crazy Euro. He needs that time off. You can't be playing full 90 right now. I don't think he's fully fit for it.
Mhm.
So I would like to see what we're going to do there sooner rather than
Very true. I
later.
mean, we have up until the very end of the season. Well, up until the end of the transfer window, which is end of this week. We should definitely look into some. Yeah, yeah. I'm thinking about end of season. Like end of August is really the end of that transfer season for me. So yeah, I mean. We'll see what happens. I'm excited. What could possibly happen? We're going to be able to sell, so we're going to have money. Let's see what Edu has cooking. So, and that's where we're going to end with the Arsenal match. Next match that I want to get into is the Chelsea Wolves matchup. Uh, that was Really crazy to see, especially after Arsenal defeated Wolves 2-0, and I thought it was a really shaky performance from us. Wolves had Chelsea's number last season, and the fact that Chelsea, they went, it was a back and forth up until about the 50th minute.
50th to the 50th, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Cole Palmer hit a worldie outside the box. That was amazing to see, but Wolves just kept fighting back. And then suddenly we got Noni just going crazy. The yard man himself. Something I've never seen over in European sports. Someone talking that talk and then also walking the walk. That man
got booed. He got booed all match until he put 3 behind, and I just gotta say, especially with 3 assists and hat trick, double hat trick for both Cole and Madueke was just absolutely beautiful. And I don't like to give Chelsea too much credit, but God dang, that was a great game by them. And after just all the talk that we mentioned in our last time we were on together, could they bring it together with this squad? I think this is a very telling. The Wolves is not the be end all be all, but 6-2 is a very telling result.
Very telling. I mean, João Felix was able to get one of his first goal in Chelsea. Yeah. Noni wanted to let the listeners know he had posted on social media that Wolverhampton was not a great place. He was
just say what he said. He said,
"No,
this place is shit."
Yeah,
that's what he said.
Yeah, he did bring up the shit. And he got booed every time he touched the ball and was able to actually produce. He was able to produce. I mean, he stood on that business. So I got to give props to him. That was quite amazing to see. So him, Cole Palmer, their guy Mudryk did not do anything. I don't know what's going on over with him, where his headspace is, but it's not looking very good for him starting. But all of their players were able to start attacking. All of their players were really able to push it forward. So we'll see. Maresca ball might be actually moving forward in the right direction. But, hey, it's 1 week at a time for that. Any other analysis there, Wash?
I was going to say just it was pretty cold that Pedro Porro, of course, made that beautiful assist over to João Felix. And that must have just, stung doubly hard for Wolves.
Yeah,
as their former player. So, and he celebrated with the Chelsea fan.
He didn't calm anybody down. He went insane, and that was very telling. I had heard nothing about any contentiousness. I heard nothing about I thought he was just a very happy player stuck playing for Wolves, but no, he was ready to get. Yeah, he was ready to get out of Wolverhampton. He was listening to Noni. He told him it was shit out there. He's just you got a Portuguese man just in the middle of Wolverhampton, just lost. He's very happy to be in London.
With the better meats.
Yeah, way better meats. And then I want to bring us back for our final piece of Premier League analysis right now. Brighton doing the 2-1 over Manchester United.
You didn't even talk about City?
No, City is just purring along 4-1 over Ipswich. Ipswich just got promoted. That was.
I just want to mention that was a beautiful goal by Ipswich before it all went to shit.
Yeah, I mean that's great to see, but I think that's all we need. That's all we need.
That's it.
Move on with that one. It was tough to watch. I could sit for it just knowing how good Manchester City is.
I changed the channel. I was like, no, I don't need this. This is too early in the morning.
Exactly.
For this massacre.
Yep.
Jesus. Yeah.
But
sorry, I interrupted.
No, you're good. I want to bring that back to Brighton beating Manchester United. Manchester United gave up a 95th minute goal to João Pedro, completely wide open at the back post for a header to go in. Yeah, what are you seeing with Manchester United? They keep telling us that they're doing good, but every year it's always been the same thing. This has been the most last minute winners that Manchester United has ever gone against in their entire club's history. Ten Hag now owns the most losses happening in the 90th minute. So it's really crazy to see how this squad can play really well and just switch it off. So want to hear your thoughts.
That's exactly what I was going to say, is how well they can switch it off. They're 0 goal difference, and of course it's only the second weekend, but I mean, you saw that goal go in. That was absolutely lackluster for the standard, for the character, and for the class, and just the skill level that Man U is at. I'm not going to take anything away from Brighton, but that was appalling just to see that go. And I was watching it like there's no way they're going to cross that in. And boom, bang, bing, got it.
They had two people open.
Yeah, it was disgusting. Yeah, no matter what, it was going to go in. And I think just, I felt bad for Onana because obviously he was just complete. And you saw him get up from that and just look at his back line and be like, what in the hell? So, yeah, I mean, look, it's still early days, but this is already cause for concern for my Man U fans. Speaking of that, just them. And of course, you couldn't find any of them on Saturday. They were all quiet. So like the afternoon for us in New York. But, yeah, man, I'd be scared. The writing's on the wall a little bit.
I mean, Ten Hag was on the hot seat at the end of the last year. There was a reason as to why people were really trying to figure out, is Manchester United going to keep him? He got some grace because he was able to complete that win for the FA Cup final. But again, we're seeing the same thing year in and year out, and everybody's asking to trust the process. At least under Arteta, you saw defensive shape. You saw the plan actually pushing forward, and you knew what type of football he was trying to play. What we're seeing under Ten Hag is players are very lackadaisical. They have zero problems turning it off within the 90th minute against competition that they deem inferior, and it's a continual issue. If they want to continue to get better, they're going to have to start selling more than just like auxiliary players. They're going to have to really change the shape and spine of that squad, similar to how Arteta did. To his credit, he got rid of Aubameyang, he got rid of Socrates, he got rid of Mustafi. It's just some things that you have to do to be able to continue to create your plan, have it be perfected. We'll see. I mean, under this new ownership and under Ten Hag's leadership, we'll see what happens.
I mean, I think, other than a few outliers, they've still got it. They are doing a good rebuild. They obviously need to do more. But at the end of the day, you play Liverpool next, all right? And if they lose and if they don't bring at least a draw, Ten Hag is screwed. I mean, they've got two other grace periods right after that with, and not easy ones, with, I believe it's Crystal Palace and I forget who they're playing after that. But not easy games, not easy matches, and you're going to have to play against a Liverpool side who just came off a fantastic win. And they're firing on all cylinders with Arne Slot. So it's going to be challenges of the bald men, which I can't wait to see which bald is better. And yeah, we shall see, man. Because they're definitely Ten Hag should be concerned.
Yeah, he definitely needs to be concerned. Manchester United friends need to be concerned, but we'll see what happens. It's a long season. It's only week 2, but the cracks are visibly showing. So. Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, Southampton and then Crystal Palace. That's what it is, I believe. So that's not going to be. It's not a walk in the park.
Not an easy walk in the park. So, wanted to thank all of our listeners again for giving us a listen to wherever streaming service you're on. We really appreciate you. We're starting to really grow. Hopefully you guys can help us make 100 Instagram followers. We finally hit the 75 mark there. We're up to around 40 followers, subscribers on YouTube. And we have, I'm really happy about like the Spotify numbers are going up and the Apple Podcast numbers are going up. So thank you all again. Keep sharing the word, keep giving us a listen. So very much appreciated on this. So I want to get quickly into our roundups. I want to start first domestically. On this pod, I correctly predicted that Columbus was going to make the Leagues Cup final. I was a little bit too overzealous saying that the Rapids were going to beat LAFC. They had indeed lost 3-0, but Columbus, they won the Leagues Cup 3-1 against LAFC. Olivier Giroud got his first goal for LAFC, his first MLS goal. Columbus was able to claw it out in the 92nd and the 94th minute. Goals by Cucho Hernandez and Russell Rowe. Columbus, this squad is just continually like doing well. They won in the CONCACAF Champions League, and now they won the Leagues Cup over both MLS and Liga MX competition. So really happy to see that. Any thoughts there for you, Waj?
None.
All right.
Good to see Giroud and the replay. No, man, you know where it's at. I don't have time to watch this stuff. There are too many leagues. There are too many leagues, and there was one that has my heart. And I would love to have said, yes, I watched the LAFC. I was about to say Galaxy. LAFC versus Columbus Crew. I didn't even know that Columbus had even won multiple cups like this. So, again, I have to apologize to our listeners and to you and to PJ for my lack of knowledge here, but this is not my department. Please call it.
Okay, it's all good. Continuing on with our wrap up, we're going into the Bundesliga. I want to bring up Leverkusen was able to again miraculously defeat another squad, Mönchengladbach, 3-2. Florian Wirtz, he missed his penalty but was able to catch the rebound for that last minute goal. Red Bull Leipzig was able to win even down 10 men, 1-0. Bayern Munich, Vincent Kompany's first match, he was able to win 3-2. And then we had a banger from Leverkusen again. I have to bring that back up just because Xhaka, former Arsenal man, just scored it, just full volley, almost about 35 meters away. Just banged that one in.
Yeah.
Really, really good to see. But yeah, wanted to bring that up within the roundup today. We had Serie A had their fixtures over the weekend as well. Parma had one of the most amazing what if team goals I've ever seen in my life. It almost happened. It almost went in. But right now you have Juventus and Inter already pacing the league. Juventus is 2 wins in. So we're really seeing the fruits of their labor pay off. Inter was able to get a win over the weekend as well. So anything within Serie A that you want to bring up?
Well, it was good to see Christian Pulisic score that goal for his time now at Inter. I'm really glad to see he's found a new home. And yeah, that was really great to see. For the Serie A, again, I think we talked about this a lot from last season, how we were talking about some of the best leagues and the best teams right now. And I think we're going to be seeing some magic coming out of Italy this year.
Italy is a very good place. Just listening to conversation that Rafael Benitez, the former Real Madrid and Liverpool manager, he was talking about how Italy is tactically like tops with from childhood compared to what England does is finding players that are really good for their position very early in their career. So you have people that are specialized within their space because you're always hoofing the ball to those players because they want them to go on to the best clubs and be able to perform there. Whereas in Italy, it is more tactically understanding where your relation is around. But then in Spain, they have a balance of both. They make sure that their players understand exactly where they need to be when they're young, and then they put them in a position when they get a little bit older. So it's a very interesting way to kind of see the X's and the O's behind how management and country go hand in hand with development.
It really is. It really is. And I think we're seeing with just so many more really amazing international managers, so many managers from around the world who are not implementing that and not just coming into, I think before when you'd see like a Spanish system in England or, when you never see an English system in Spain, but, you would see a lot of the different systems, particularly French, Spanish, German, and, but it was really like, if you look at Italy, look at Spain, it's pretty much all the same in terms of, because they're all coming from the same school of thought, right? And now, again, with what Rafa was saying, like he goes for that really good place in the middle of not tiki taka and not being too technical, but right in the middle. And I think right now, some of the teams in Europe, particularly in Germany, in Spain, and Italy, we're seeing that now, just because the talent pool is just growing so much, and you've got a lot of these players who have gone on to play in the Premier League, other leagues, and now coming back to bring those tactics and that knowledge into these leagues. So this is making them more exciting to me. So again, I think that it was great to see Inter have that win. And again, and then Juventus as well. And just, I'm excited to see what the Serie A has in store for us this year.
For sure. Completely agree with you there. To complete our roundup, I want to bring up La Liga, the league over in Spain. We had a lot of amazing matches, some close ones, some nail biters. We had Barcelona picking up the 2-1 win over Athletic Bilbao. Villarreal defeated Sevilla 2-1. Real
Yeah.
Madrid, Endrick's first goal, and Kylian Mbappe is still looking for a goal. He
Yeah.
can't even get an assist as well. But Real Madrid was able to beat Valladolid 3-0. Real Sociedad got a 1-0 win over Espanyol. So anything that you want to bring up there?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to talk about Real Madrid. Of course, they were picking Valladolid and they could not break through until about the 50th minute. Of course, they did get a convincing win with it being 3-0 at the end, but they had to bring on two subs, both Brahim and Endrick. And, shout out to young Endrick. He did score his first goal and was the 60th minute winner, which was great to see. But it was a lackluster for the standard of Los Blancos. This was a lackluster performance. Like you said, Mbappe couldn't even get onto the scoreline nor an assist, and that was really his game to really show himself. But I think we need to also give him some time. He just came back from the Euros, but it didn't quite meet the expectations. Is it something to worry about? Do you think?
I don't think it's anything to worry about. I think seeing how Cristiano, I think he's just doing the exact same thing his idol Cristiano Ronaldo did. He had a hard first month when he first got to Real Madrid, and then after that, he became one of the most prolific goal scorers of all time. Mbappe is
Yeah,
already one of the most prolific goal
yeah,
scorers. I think just integrating into a team just takes time, and that's
yeah,
okay. No matter how great you are, when you're around new people, it's going to take time to get up to that level, especially because Real Madrid were already winning Champions League. They were already winning La Liga. So
mhm,
I believe they'll be okay. It's something for us to talk about right now, but Mbappe is just too good. I do want to get back to Endrick's goal, just because he's looking very good for a player that as young as he is. I don't think he's going to be able to get the amount of time that he wants.
yeah,
He might have to go away on loan, which would be a boon for somebody else. Or they can keep him like how they did Arda last season, who lit it up at the Euros for Turkey this year.
yeah,
I hope he stays and he's okay with his limited role and just continue to develop his body. He's a young man. He keeps saying that he's watching the black and white videos from Sir Bobby Charlton. Oh,
as a
hopefully
favorite player. Yeah, all right.
hopefully he gets enough time to like now catch up to some YouTube videos of new players and seeing how things go in the 21st century,
Yeah,
But yeah, Endrick, I really believe like he's going to be really really great for that squad. They already got two Brazilians that well, they got more than two Brazilians. They have four starting Brazilians and then they have a pedigree of
that's right.
Brazilians already. So yeah, I want to keep seeing more from him, and it was really great to see like that first one. It was just like a daft touch, just easy, quick shot in. So,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
all right, awesome. Well, yeah, that's our roundup, domestic and international. We need to find a name for that. Hope if anybody's a copywriter can give us some tips on a name for that segment for us. All right, for our main segment, though, I want to bring up the NWSL agreed to an historic collective bargaining agreement with the NWSL Players Association 2 years ahead of expiration. The NWSL is to eliminate the draft, guarantee contracts, and grant unrestricted free agency to all players. So this aligns with the global standard and term extensions through 2030, position that the NWSL is the most elite league for women's sport in the world, both competitively and commercially. It's amazing to see this happen within the United States. When I first read about this, I'm sorry to say my mind instantly went to the MLS and their collective bargaining agreement, but I do want to give the women their flowers right now. I got to clap it up. They figured out
Absolutely.
something that the rest of the world needs to figure out. Like, well, the rest of the United
Comes to
States needs to
America.
they need to figure that one out is let people be able to go wherever they want to be, do what they need to do. Like, it's the only way to really start getting the best players into the US. So that's where I want to start. I want to open it up with Waj. I know you had a really big thoughts on this.
Man, I got a lot of thoughts, and I'm honestly just so happy about this. It's funny when I first moved to the States and I was hanging out with all these kids, all these sports fans that talking about the draft. I was like, "What do you mean you can't just like go play for who you want?" They're like, "No, you got to draft it." And I never understood the draft when it came to. I get it for some other sports in the States because it's very established, and even that I have some feelings about for whatever established. But when it comes to to professional football in this country, I did never understood why you had to draft and all these restrictive rules against players when they're supposed to be playing on an international stage. It's not like the NFL and NBA. I mean, there are other leagues around the world, but there's a massive gap between the two. When you have these players that are going to be playing between in the States, Canada, Mexico, in European countries, what have you, you have to have the same rules. And this is a great stepping stone to that. I mean, it's going to give the players more autonomy to choose where they want to go, which is, to me, the best part of this. Revenue sharing, the rev shares is fantastic. And it's going to be lead to incentivization by clubs, by players, by sponsors. And most importantly to me, I think, which is just something that's been on my mind just way too much for all the injuries we've seen, is the player health and just the workload management that we're going to see with this. Like it's going to be changed. There's going to be more safeguards put in place, for the players, more investment in staffing as well. So this is going to take the NWSL to a whole different stratosphere. And I think, especially with the ladies, what we saw at the Olympics, I'm sorry, and what we're going to see with the World Cup, this is great timing. This is such a good timing to really pay these women for what they're worth. And I'm talking just for the American women right now, but to pay these women what they're actually worth as world champions, continual world champions, but also bring in the talent, bring it in around the world, and pay all these amazing women for what they're worth. We've not seen that. I hope to see that in the MLS, but I'm not going to talk about that. That's a year away or 2 years away, I believe. So I think this is fantastic. I'm very, very excited. Hope it just leads to just amazing growth for the whole league, for the whole sport in America, but particularly for the women, because they deserve their flowers for everything they've done.
Completely agree with your sentiments there, 100%, 1,000%, honestly. I want to bring up some of the highlights just because I don't want to glance over anything to just show like how revolutionary this is, especially with American sports. Knowing that you're giving players within the U.S. unrestricted free agency, you don't see that ever. Everybody knows that leagues within the United States really love to be able to control until we have the owners have no more use for you. So now they're actually coming to the players as actual partners and not letting them be just like, oh yeah, you're just going to work for me and that's it. Like, no, you're actual partners, which that's how it should be. But some of the highlights that I do want to bring up, the salary cap has been negotiated to two components. There's a base salary cap, and then as well, there's a supplement that will determine based on prior year's median sponsorship revenue. So that money is going to continue to double over the lifetime of the contracts, and it can only get better from there. We have annual salary increases. So there's a league minimum salary around. So right now it's pretty low, but it's rising in 2025 to $48,000 to in 2030. The lowest, the league minimum salary is going to be $82,000 in 2030, which is quite amazing to see because right now there's still teams being added to the NWSL. You're going to see more growth around just for that. And we're also seeing more sponsorship and revenue to go from there. Another really huge thing is parental leave and childcare benefits are going to be further expanded. I mean, just being able to help just like the mandate of number of health professionals for a club is pretty amazing in itself. Especially we need to make sure that people are treated fairly, understanding like how mental health issues can arise, family issues can arise. Like being able to increase your actual health services within the club is going to be a pretty amazing thing. Yeah, abolishing the draft, abolishing like discovery rules, those are great. But seeing those actually take place with the clubs on a human level is a really amazing thing to see. So the second piece of this is I wanted to bring up how it affects the MLS though. MLS, their CBA contract comes up after the World Cup ends in 2027. We keep saying that we need to see players come to the United States. And right now, the DP rule is essentially used to make sure that players that are a little bit over the hump in age come to the United States to play to further their craft. Lionel Messi just won the World Cup. He just won the Copa. He's a little bit older, but he's not over the hump in age. But right now, you're seeing Olivier Giroud. He's about 34, 35. He just came to LAFC. Marco Reus just came to the LA Galaxy. He was about 34,
Mhm.
35. We can see this happening all the way back with David Beckham. He was a little bit older when he first came over. So I hope this gives the MLS, their Players Association, some fuel to really push to not lose out on negotiating their rights. I mean,
Yeah.
it's possible, and the MLS keeps growing. You have a chance to really put your foot down and really put your foot forward and trying to create and negotiate a very strong CBA and become partners with your league and not
Yeah.
just workers, you know?
Yeah, no, again, to what you said before, I 1,000% agree. I think this is just going to push the MLS owners to just do more for their players. I think one point we haven't brought up is that I almost forgot for a second and I brought it back, is that these owners as well, they want to keep to a system and it's obviously going to benefit them. That's the business of the sport. But when it comes to the women's league, it was never really seen as an investment business wise, right? It was seen as a charitable way to put your money away and get the women's league up. But now, oh, no. The women's league is going to go to a whole other level, which means that now the fire has to be put into the feet of MLS as the owners. How are the owners going to revolutionize the league? What are they going to do for the salary and compensation? What will they do for mental health? What will they do for parents? What will they do for the draft? I mean, will they keep the draft themselves?
I think it needs to go.
I would love for it to go. It needs to just
Mm-hmm.
go and die. I don't see any need for it, especially with NIL. What's the point?
Mm-hmm.
Let these kids go and play when they're younger, and so they don't have to wait so many years to get injured, potentially injured, and to play college just to go and play in the professionals when they can go and play at 18 now. It doesn't make any sense. And there should just be a reevaluation of the complete draft system, I think, in entirety, but particularly in soccer, I think it needs to go. I think they need to get onto an international level of recruitment that does the best for the players and compensates them fairly without them spending 3 years with the potential of getting injured for very little.
Yeah. Really great points there. I think one thing that I would be remiss to not bring up is the fact that some of the owners in the MLS also own within the NWSL.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really hard for someone to not for the CBA, for the Players Association, when they come to the CBA table, hey, see that you gave unrestricted access over here. Why can't we get this over there? And if someone can't negotiate from that position, I think you really need to get out your leadership from the Players Association and just start from scratch. Because I think these players are going to have to learn how to dig in. You're going to have to be able. I was listening to Wayne Rooney talk about how when he was with DC United, first as a player, he would they would have favorable conditions for him to fly, and he would want to go sit with the team because he knew back in his days with Manchester United that no one's bigger than the squad. But then he instantly regretted it because flying commercial within the United States, he was just like, "Oh, this is a terrible idea," and then he went back up.
Of course.
Yeah, this is instantly bad. But he understood, like, hey, everybody on the team should be treated fairly and treated equally.
Yeah.
And the DP, while it has done great wonders for the MLS, I really believe being able to open up this entire system can only lead to bigger and better things for the MLS to continue to grow as a league. I know one of our first topics on the pod here was talking about how the Saudi league is trying to position itself as the best in the world, but the US has MLS, which is continually growing, but we're not getting the best players at the best times to get them. We're usually getting them at the end part, but we are seeing ascended talent come through. A lot of players right now are being bought to go over in different European leagues, which is really amazing to see. Colorado Rapids just sold 2 players this past summer over to teams in the Premier League and Serie A. So, like, the talent's here. Now, just being able to compensate to either A, keep it, or B, fairly continue to develop these players is amazing to watch. So,
compensate and cultivate. That's
exactly.
what America
That's the name
needs.
of the
We have
game.
all these rules.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
Yeah. I mean, hey, look, it's still a business at the end of the day. I'm not going to tell people how to run their money, but I really wish you could just do it this way. The Europeans did one thing right, and having that free open market system has
Well,
worked out.
just a free open market European system as opposed to our free American system.
Exactly. Ours within sport is just crazy because it's all private entity based. So, yeah,
Isn't
ours
that
here.
funny that they've got a free market system for sport, but not for like the actual government, but then we have it for our government, but not our sport?
Hey, it's always backwards world somewhere.
Yes.
Amazing. Well, want to continue to give the props to the NWSL and their great leadership over at their Players Association. Need to give props to them. And listeners would love to pose the question to you. How do you feel about the NWSL's historic agreement? And then as well, how is that really going to affect proceedings after the World Cup with the MLS and the men trying to get equal attainable leadership there? So yeah, within our final segment, I wanted to bring something really cool that I've been seeing. Try to give a little bit culture back to the crowd.
Ooh, culture. Love me culture.
Oh yeah! So earlier this summer, Atlanta fashion brand Mifflin, dropped soccer-inspired pieces into their latest collection, dubbing it Mifflin FC. The brand is leaning into growing the popularity of the sport within North America. I want to give a quote from their digital marketing leader, Rashid Alaroy. As soccer becomes more popular in the U.S., Mifflin can play a key role in showing how the sport is more than just a game. It's a whole lifestyle. It's blending fashion, culture, and community. Their jerseys are a great way to introduce people to this lifestyle, combining the spirit of soccer with a sense of style that speaks to those who appreciate both. Now, I wanted to bring this up because they went a complete step further. They decided to partner with Puma to organize the Mifflin Cup pickup soccer tournament in Atlanta in order to foster a local community around the brand and the sport. So, similar to last week, bringing up how the sport is really transformational in bridging gaps with communities. This time they decided to partner with a very large brand in Puma to really drive their fashion piece and really try to just show like, hey, look, some culture can be used to make sure that it doesn't always have to be a kit just from one person. Like fashion brands can make our own kits too. I know we're seeing fashion collabs all across European teams. Juventus comes to mind, PSG's brand partnership with Jordan, but also seeing like other smaller brands, fashion brands, like up and coming brands, really try to push the envelope. I'm really
Yeah.
happy to see something like that.
I mean,
Do you?
would you buy that Mifflin FC jersey, the zebra one? I think it's the green and yellow one.
I mean, I like the pink and green ones, but to be honest, I won't be able to rock that just because my family are all deltas, and that is an AKA color.
Wow, what an out. Well played. Well
Hey,
played.
I do know my colors, and once I saw that, I was like, I think my mom and my sister might disown me from my family because even though I didn't pledge Greek, I do support.
Right? I was like, but you okay, fine.
Hey,
Okay, so
that's my out, and I'm sticking to it.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly. That's the out. No, it's funny because the jerseys and I looked at them, and they're funky, but to me, they look like the old like these jerseys, So I mean, like they must be they're clearly go for that retro feel to them, which is cool. It's funky. I'm feeling it. I'm gonna wait to the second round of jerseys come out though. Well, I mean,
hey,
I'm still waiting for my Arsenal jersey. So,
yeah, we're who do we have to talk to at Arsenal to get our jerseys on time?
and
I
does
haven't
anyone
had
else
an
in
update.
America? Yeah, has anyone else in America? Any of our listeners? Have you guys ordered jerseys and are still waiting for them? And did you order before the start of the season 2 weeks ago? Because if not,
Same.
let's collect together.
Yeah,
Put it in the comments. Let us know.
yeah. Please let us know. We need to make a contingent right now because this is ridiculous. We're fans over here too.
I'm supposed to go to Rwanda without visit Rwanda on my shirt now. Like, what am I?
What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do there?
I'm just going to Rwanda. Don't worry about what I'm doing there. Just know I'm going to Rwanda, and I need to have my Arsenal jersey, so it says "Visit Rwanda" on my jersey, and I can take the photo. You know,
You got to
especially
stun
with
on us. I
some of
see.
my biological cousins. But I'm just disappointed. I'm not mad, but disappointed at this point.
I feel it. I feel it. Well, want to thank everybody again for giving us a listen. It was amazing just being able to reconnect over the summer with really trying to push forward. We are going to have an amazing fall planned. We got some interesting guests that we're planning. We have some different topics and different ways of discussion pieces. So really look forward. Again, we're off next week. Have a great bank holiday, everybody. This is Dem Boys Watch Footy. It's Iswaj. Have a great one.
See you.